So if you're looking for a cheap place that's affordable with the digital nomad community and there's also surfing, then I would suggest you consider Danang. Living in Danang, Vietnam is like, it's a very beautiful city. As you can see, there's a mixture of the mountains and the city. You can walk on the beach every single day. I pretty much live 5 minutes walk from the beach, and there's a lot of expats here, a lot of good coffee shops, restaurants. I do love the ocean. I was considering going back to Thailand, but the thing is, if I were to go back to Chiang Mai, there's no ocean there, and I just really love being able to walk by the beach every single morning. It's such a calming, grounding experience. So I think I would recommend it for a digital nomad for a month or two. And I think that it's good if you love surfing, because in the winter months, there's a lot of people surfing. I don't know if you can see, but over there, you'll be able to see a lot of people surfing over there. And I've never gone surfing here yet, but I do want to try. And also there's paragliding here. So I was able to do that a few months ago. I did paragliding here, and it was such a cool experience because I wouldn't be able to afford it in other places. But here it was only like $100 to go paragliding, or I think it was $50 to go paragliding. So it's very affordable. And the apartments here are really nice. You basically are able to get an apartment for $300 USD, and you can get your own room with a kitchen and the bathroom. So it's like a full studio. It's not just like a hotel room. Plus my apartment is literally right by the ocean, and I can still be able to afford a place like that. It's crazy because if I were back home in Vancouver and I wanted an apartment like that close to the ocean, it would cost me probably like $2,000 a month just to be able to live close to the ocean. But here I can spend $300 a month and be able to live close to the ocean, which I love. And I guess the other downside to being in Da Nang is that a lot of the people, Vietnamese people, don't speak English. So the language barrier is going to be a lot more than if you were in Thailand or if you were in Bali. And this is the hardest place because you are always going to need Google Translate here. But if you stick in the expat area, which is in the Anthon area, there's a lot of places catered to foreigners. And so you can mostly just talk to the foreigners here. But a lot of the servers are not going to be like extremely good at English. They know just a few basic words. And also you can see it's quite gloomy today. And the reason for that is it's rainy season here. So rainy season actually wasn't as bad as I expected, because there would be like big storms maybe once every few days. But today it's overall gloomy, but normally it's sunny with a few small storms here and there. But today it's a lot more gloomy than normal. And also I love the fact that I can play beach volleyball here at night. There's quite a few groups where you can play pickleball, volleyball, and it's just basically beach volleyball. And you can just play it for free and meet people. I think that's one of the great things about Danang, is that there's a lot of different digital nomad events, probably every single day, and you can meet other digital nomads here. So it's quite a big digital nomad community, but definitely not as big as in Bali or Thailand. But I like the fact that it's smaller in that there's not as many events and there's less people to meet, so it's a little bit less overwhelming. Also, food-wise, it's super cheap. It's about $2 to $5 for a meal here. And they have the local specialties like mi wong, bang xiao, and khao lao. Those are actually the specialties of Hoi An. But you can also find that here in Da Nang, and they're also known for their seafood. There's a lot of seafood restaurants here, and you can get your seafood fix. I would say that after a month here, it's kind of a little bit boring, because the main reason why I'm staying here is because I'm focusing on work. There's a lot of videos I need to edit, a lot of work to be done, so I don't really need to go out that much or do new things. But it can get a little bit boring here in that it's kind of just the same thing, same restaurants, same coffee shops, but that happens everywhere you go. And yeah, and rainy season, I was considering leaving because of rainy season, but it hasn't been that bad because the weather's been much cooler, because 2 months ago it was way too hot to be outside around this time of the day. But during rainy season, it's actually acceptable to be outside in this time. So that's why I love being here actually in this time. Even though it's a little bit rainy, I don't really mind it so far. The only downside is that it's a little bit too touristy in that a lot of these hotels and things here were built for tourists. So basically you can see a lot of Korean restaurants, Korean tourists here, and it's not that it's bad, but it's more like there's not much culture here. Like for example, if you go 30 minutes south, you'll be able to see Hoi An, and Hoi An has full of it's an old town, so there's so much culture and history there. Whereas in Danang, 20 to 30 years of development, and it was all very recent. So that's the only downside to Danang. But I do love the ocean. So if you're looking for a cheap place that's affordable with a digital nomad community, and there's also surfing, then I would suggest you consider Danang because it is quite a relaxing place. Although if you live inside the Anthon area, it can get a little bit too overwhelming because it's a lot of bars and restaurants and loud music all the time. So I would recommend living just a little bit outside the Anthon area so you're still walking distance to the expat area. But other than that, I think it's a great place to live. And once you find your community, you'll be able to feel more at home here. And definitely join the Facebook groups, the WhatsApp groups, so you can get updated on the daily events that happen here. It's very active. Although the reason that I would not stay here long term is that I do not want to learn Vietnamese. And I think most people who stay here long term learn Vietnamese. And it's kind of like a crucial thing here. So I don't see myself here long term because of the language barrier. But I've been able to enjoy the few months that I've been here so far. Oh yeah, so I would say the beaches here are a lot better than Bali, but the sunsets you can't really catch at this beach. But you can catch it on the riverside. But I heard that the sunrise here is really nice. So I guess the downside to the beaches here is that you don't really see a sunset every day. But people here, the locals, they love swimming around 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. So if you come here around that time, you're gonna see hundreds of people swimming in the ocean. That's pretty awesome because back home, nobody really swims in the ocean, especially with their families and in groups that big. So that's one thing I love about Vietnam. You can really feel the family values, you can really feel the collective culture here, and that people really value their family and value time with their kids. And that's pretty special, I would say. And that's something that's starting to get lost in the West, is the family values and just being close with your family, doing stuff with your family. I think it's not as common anymore. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'll respond to as many as I can. I'll see you guys in the next video.